Hey everybody, what's going on? Here goes my second update on dating. So once you get to the, I guess once you get to the part where you're dating, like you done the inner work, you found out what you need in a partner and a person. Now it's time to get out there and start dating, right? I'll say like one of the first things you want to do is that checklist I told you guys about. Look on the look on your checklist. And then now, if this person fulfilled everything on your checklist, you got a first date going. I'm still on that first date. I would say, like for first dates, I'll say definitely take it slow. You don't need to do anything too expensive. I would suggest. I mean, if you're a male, definitely have at least five, maybe $300 to $500 to step out on a date. You never know what you might end up doing. Um, and then I guess as a general rule, like if you ask, so general rule is whoever asks who out first, usually pays. Or if there's an agreement that y'all, rather go Dutch, I think all that stuff should happen first, before before you guys even step on a date. Maybe that conversation needs to be had, and just in a mature way, because I know from the way I hear it, it is out there is that some females automatically expect men to show chivalry, and some men are kind of taking things a little bit to the extreme where it's like, oh nah, just to show that I'm not, she's not a gold digger trying to use me, she should pay. So that's why I say going Dutch isn't too bad, maybe on the first date or two, just because y'all are still getting to know each other, and you want to keep everybody in an equal place, right? So I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. So ladies, if a guy doesn't agree to pay for that date right off the bat, I wouldn't, just dismiss him. I don't, like I said, depending on how y'all talk about in the conversations y'all have, I don't think it's a bad thing, to go Dutch, especially since, we're in the state of the economy we live in. Nobody wants to waste time or money or anything like that. So I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. That's a throwaway or a red flag. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it all depends on how the context of how that conversation goes will determine everything. Definitely pay attention to how they, get through that context in that conversation. Just because you never know, like I said, certain things will reveal how that person handles situations, especially like women on the men, women, like for the men, it'll be like, however they choose to handle that situation, is going to show, give a little bit of insight to their psychology on, leadership skills, how they process information, how they choose to communicate with you. Things could change in a couple months for sure. Because people change. Everybody goes through what they go through the honeymoon phase. But I feel like it does give a little bit of insight for what you're going to be dealing with. And especially nowadays, like we need to practice on both sides good conflict resolution. So, like I said, I wouldn't be quick to dismiss, a guy right off the bat. If anything, give him the opportunity to show, where he is as a person, as a man, and potential leader for the relationship. Um, and the same thing, for the man, on the woman's side, I believe, like I said, I believe if she's coming off as mature and depending on the context of y'all conversation to start up before the date, right? And she checks everything on the checklist, I would say it's a safe bet to pay for that first date. I mean, that's something y'all do. Like I said, everybody grew up differently with different things. And I know the state of things kind of left everybody all up in the air on this subject. So, but I'll say, like I said, she's a decent woman and stuff like that. Paying for the first date, I don't see any problem with it. I'll say it's a safe bet, especially if you have a good chance of getting the second one. I wouldn't be quite to dismiss it as a red flag or she's a gold digger. She doesn't want to pay. But definitely, like I said, that part of that comes with having a conversation beforehand, right? The build up before the date. So now that we're here at the dating part and we got the date set. Like I said, for the fellas, well, it's kind of for both people. I'll say pick a mutual place. If you guys feel like, you don't want to spend that much money on the first date, you could do like a nice date out to the park, grab some ice cream or whatever, depending on the time of the season, grab some ice cream or whatever and just take a walk through the park, have conversations. Pick places that are going to spark conversations where you can kind of get to, get into each other's mind a little bit and, and explore each other. And take your time with it. This isn't a rush process. You shouldn't be in a rush to be in a relationship. You know, definitely want to see how things are, after the honeymoon phase, is over. So it takes a couple months. Nowadays I know everybody rushes kind of in a relationship after they sleep together and all this other stuff. So I'd say let's go back to kind of just taking our time, getting to know people. At least a good 3 to 4 months. People usually reveal themselves within that time. So take 3 to 4 months to get to know the person. Like I said, if y'all are dating, don't throw too many expectations on each other as, well, this person should know I like this person don't like. If y'all had a conversation about it, cool. But just keep in mind, y'all are still getting to know each other. So, you want to pay attention to those red flags, but make sure they're necessary. Make sure that they're reasonable, red flags, not just things that, part of your insecurities or things that you haven't dealt with, so you perceive a situation to be a certain way. That's what we're trying to avoid, right? And like I said, you want to take that time to explore each other's minds, but each other's likes and interests. Maybe create certain situations and see if they're going to be a good fit for, your family environment. You may want to bring them to like maybe one family event and see how they interact with your family. You want to go check out their family and see, how things are over there. See if you can feel yourself fitting in over here. Like, I feel like that's a fair process. And if you're not feeling the person, don't waste each other's time. Just be upfront about it. Be like, hey, after a couple of days, I thought about it, and I don't think this is going to work. And just kind of try to give them a reason. So I think it's fair. Everybody hates being ghosted. And sometimes you just got to take accountability. We're all grown. So, be on your grown person-ish and communicate why this wouldn't work. Or, just like, hey, I don't want you to feel like I wasted your time. We dated this, that, and that. I just don't feel like this situation would be good for me. And if you give them some, it doesn't have to be a full, paragraph of an explanation. But, just try to give them something so they're not just left hanging. And that gives them something maybe they could work on, or maybe something that they could look out for. Because it's to help each other improve, right? And don't be afraid of rejection, or just, something not falling through. It's not wasted time. It's learning experience. Sometimes, some of us, are at the point where we just work, pay bills, we go out with our friends here and there, but our dating muscles are kind of, they have atrophy, right? A lot of people got dating atrophy. A lot of people don't know how to date, don't know the first things on how to date, which is why I'm here giving them guidance. And that's okay. So like I said, you just gotta keep dating, you know what I'm saying? But don't do high risk dating. High risk dating is when you just, you meet somebody in the first 2 days, you're all excited about them, the endorphins going off in your head, so on and so forth, and then you kind of placing your own expectations on to the situation. That's something you want to avoid, because when it doesn't go your way, that's when all the heartbreak and everything else, starts to fall into place, and then the whole process just kind of falls apart. Now you're in a negative mindset about dating, and and you kind of just generalize everything now. Every situation is gonna be different. But I guess what I'm trying to lead you to is to put yourself in situations that are that you thought of. You know what I'm saying? That are kind of a little bit like, you did the work, you did the research, you talked to the person, got to know them, and you took your time with it. In order to get better results with dating, you kind of have to be a little patient, and do a little bit of homework, and like I said, and explore that person's mental, and like really see if that person's really going to be a good fit for you. Don't just go off the base the last few days where you got the hormones or whatever. If y'all choose to sleep together on the first night and stuff like that, like just don't go based off of that. For those, now speaking of that, for those who do choose to sleep together on the first night, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Some people slept together on the first night. And they got married, they've been married for 20 something years, and some people don't, you know what I'm saying? And that's fine. It's really just based on your preference. I don't think there's a right way to go about it, because you don't know how two people are going to get along. All I'm going to say is, when it comes to that, just try to be mindful, especially, the woman, because, you're giving away your bodies and stuff like that. You want to respect yourself. You want other people to respect you. So, what I would say to that is just be mindful of that. If you feel like, okay, I could take a risk with this person, ask yourself, like, has this person shown me enough to where if I do get pregnant by them, they're gonna be there and so on and so forth. Now, I would say have a couple conversations of going to a person's psyche before you choose to sleep with them. That probably the proper way and save both people time. And some people necessarily nothing happens, on the first night. But like I said, if that's something you guys want to do, I'll probably say try to fall back from it. I mean, if things are clicking and y'all are just, y'all mesh, by all means, I'll say do it. No harm, no foul. Just make sure that, like I said, you really just want to make sure that that person is still gonna be there after y'all sleep together. Because I know there's a couple of one night stand situations, and that kind of messes up y'all process. Especially during the dating market. You definitely want to know people's intentions and know that they're still are gonna rock with you even after they get, y'all both get what y'all want. Y'all tested the water, slept with each other, or whatever. You just want to make sure you're safe with that person, and vice versa. Like I don't condone really one night stands like that unless y'all both plan on being single and y'all just both need a night of fun or whatever, then cool. Yeah, if y'all can still remain cool after and then it develops into something else, cool, because it does happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just more like that the safe route will be to kind of get to know the person just a little bit before you sit here and make that decision. And you just gotta carry yourself good too, like in all areas. Make sure your social medias are aligned. The ladies out there definitely don't want to be showing too much skin. I know a lot of females nowadays like to put, they got curves or whatever. They like to put, take them pictures with the ass out and stuff like that. Like, you want to make yourself, if you're serious about dating and depending on your age range, like, you really want to make yourself presentable, for the next person. Nobody really wants a person who's out there showing their skin all the time. Nobody wants a guy who's showing his dick print or whatever all the time on, on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever. Same for the females. Nobody wants a female showing her titties, her body, and stuff all the time. Stuff all the time. On social media, then it's like you can't really show your moms who you're dating. You know what I'm saying? You want to make yourself almost presentable to meet the parents when you're dating. I mean, I would recommend that. I mean, people could do what they want. That's just my recommendation on how to get better results. If you're not getting good results now, this is how you change that. But I'll say that's one way to go about it. Like I said, make yourself as presentable as possible. That way people feel comfortable when dating you and they can see you as a possibility. Like, I could bring this person home to my peoples and, my peoples are going to respect them. I could show them pictures and whatnot and not have to be embarrassed about anything or explain anything. And that's what I say. Once you get to the dating stage, that's what you want to do. So again, just to take it back, you just want to slow it down a little bit. And, like I said, go on dates, getting to know the person, exploring each other's mind. You don't got to spend a whole lot of stuff on like lavish dates and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't, especially when you're just getting to know somebody, because you don't want to waste your resources and time that you can't get back. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a safe bet and fair bet to take your time dating and don't go on any expensive dates, maybe until like the third, fourth date. Then you can spend a little bit because y'all had spent time together and, have proved to each other like, hey, we really into each other, especially if you're on the third or fourth date. Then, yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you want to go all out and, throw a little spadazzle on that date, by all means, it's a safe bet by the third, fourth date. So that's my advice on dating. And also don't place any expectations on each other. Enjoy the journey of learning the other person, and then just kind of seeing if they fit. If they fit your criteria. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's never a stupid question, especially when you're trying to get to know somebody. You want to ask as many questions as possible, because these are things you need to know, especially if you're taking it seriously and you guys are trying to stay in a long-term relationship. You guys want to get married and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of questions that I feel like we should start asking the other person, before we, make a union. And I would say both parties a lot of heartache just doing that. Just doing that simple exercise of just asking more questions and finding out about each other a little more before you choose to either, sleep with the person or y'all, get together as a couple. try not. I've made those mistakes. I think we all have. Moving in with people too fast or whatever. And y'all got separate apartments. Like, you should never want. I think everybody should already have themselves established. Especially for us. In the 30 plus range. You want to have something already established before you date. That way they come over your crib or you go over theirs, vice versa. And you guys kind of have that space from each other to reflect, and really just you're in your own space, and you could make proper decisions. Because when you're with each other all the time, it kind of just them endorphins are going off, so feelings might get involved, feelings might override logic, or you might ignore certain red flags, and things could go bad. So I think it's cool for people to while they're dating, to have their own space, to live separately, make sure everybody's established, everybody's paying their own bills, got their jobs, stuff like that, because you don't want to just date somebody and then they're like, it's like a burden. It's almost like a burden, coming in. So yeah, that's my advice on dating. So we did the building up to the dating. This is the dating part. And then I don't know if I need another video for this. Because if it works after that, then it works. And that's just going to lead back to the inner work videos. But I could probably, I feel like they blend in with relationship advice. So I don't know how I'm going to put this up on a page as a TED Talk or inner work video. This might just be its own little section. But actually it might be a TED Talk. I might put it in there for that. But yeah, so that's my advice on dating. Like I said, if I have any more, if I could expand upon this a little more and go to the next phase, it's just while you're dating, and give certain advice on once you got to that point where y'all officially made it as a couple. I can give a couple pointers on that, but everybody's relationship is going to be different. So what works, what may necessarily, I'll try to speak in general terms, because what may not necessarily work for me may not work for somebody else. We always got to keep that, always got to keep an open mind about that and be realistic. You know what I mean? So, all right, that's my advice on dating. Let me know if that helps you guys per usual. I appreciate people who reach out and say, our talks work, or even just offline, and some of the friends who just be like, I appreciate, you being able to have deep conversations with you, with me in general, and then just, and it helps them in a way. I appreciate all that, because that's what I'm here for. I've been doing it all my life. So, it is the path that I'm supposed to take. I definitely enjoy it, and I get, a sense of happiness that I'm helping other people as well. Because like I said, I'm still working on myself, but, why not help other people come up too? So, yeah. I'm out, y'all. Peace and love. I'm about to clock in and do what I need to do and enjoy my weekend. Hopefully I get my hair done tomorrow, because it's been a minute. And I really need it done, and I need it to last a little bit. I might just do the double strand twist. So next video, I might have the double strand twist in there, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? It's been hard catching up with people nowadays, stylists, they're booked. So, but yeah, that's another TED Talk, everybody. Peace and love.